And now for the epic finale. An Evening of Chelsea Wolfe, Part 2. The live performance on KEXP.
Okay, so now we are really jumping into this performance. This is on KEXP. Apparently, it's been out for almost a year. They published this on July 9th of 2018, so it's coming up on a year, and I was not aware of its existence, which makes me feel like a horrible, horrible fan, which I know I'm not. I fucking know I'm not. But I don't understand how I was not aware of this. But we're about to rectify that together right now. So, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea Wolfe.
You've got it tuned to KEXP at 90.3 FM here in Seattle, Washington, and worldwide streaming at kexp.org. My name is Abby, and I'm so excited to have Chelsea Wolfe here in studio at KEXP. You are in for a special treat. Chelsea, thank you so much for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. And what will your first song be?
It's called The Calling.
She said the calling. I'm sorry to right out the gate hit you with a pause. No, she just said the calling. That is like one of my absolute favorite songs off of her last album, and it's just because of the intensity. And there's one particular lyric. I mean, the lyrics of the whole song are great, but just there's this one part where it comes in, and just that lyric and the intensity in which it comes in is one of those goosebumps moments that I was like referring to earlier. This is definitely one of those songs. So yeah, get excited, trust me. Oh, she's got the whole band. Another quick pause. Just wanted to say, this literally, I mean, there's certain little things about the vocal that it's a little different. I mean, but for the most part, this is like almost 100% true to album. I mean, this literally sounds like an album version. Like, I was listening to this song, the album, the CD, in my car today, like a couple hours ago, and this sounds like they are so tight and they are so good. So good. Okay, so I just came to this like realization in my mind a moment ago. There's still another 23 minutes left of this performance. Like, I don't know what the track list or the set list for this performance is. I mean, regardless of what it is, I know it's gonna be good. But um, I'm getting lost in this like very easily. Like I keep forgetting that I'm recording a reaction to this, and I'm just like, it's just drawing me in, and that is not transformative in any way, shape, or form. Like I can't just sit here and watch it and not, give commentary, which I'm keep forgetting to do. Um, I've been looking into some of these copyright laws and uh, anyway, I'm not going to get into the whole explanation of particular circumstances. Like if you sit there and you just like watch a whole video in its entirety, and you don't like pause or don't give any kind of commentary. If you're just watching a video, there's something about uh, full presentation just on another in another format or through another avenue or something to that effect. Something that it will not fall under the guidelines of fair use, and a company, you can get a copyright strike or they can take legal action against you if they so choose to. Something to that effect, from what I have been reading on, different things. Anyway, so yeah, I need to be doing what I normally would do, but it's hard to do what I would normally do with Chelsea Wolfe. It's just, I get entranced. It's like, it's hypnotic. What did I sign myself up for? I'm I don't know whether I should apologize or we're just going to keep going and see if this turns into a train wreck. Well, if I turn into a train wreck. Okay, so yeah, we'll pause there for a moment. We'll discuss a couple of things. For one, her her outfit. I mean, come on, does not cease to amaze me at all. I mean, that's incredible. Brilliant. Um, and there seemed to be a lot of focus, a lot of different times on the guitarist's shoes. I mean, they're nice shoes. I don't know if they were nice enough to warrant that many shots. I mean, granted, yeah, I know he's like messing with the pedal, whatever, but still, it really looked like it was trying to imply that his shoes were expensive. You know, I didn't see a Gucci logo. It didn't look red on the bottom. I'm just kidding. But yeah, and then Jess, the drummer, uh, she looked mad. I mean, is it just me or she just looked like she was fighting through something? Like, God damn it, I hate these drums. Why are we playing this fucking song again? It's kind of how it looked. I mean, I'm sure that's not how it was, but she's very emotional looking. Very, very. But all in all, it was a great performance. And it felt, when I was saying there was like a difference in the vocals, like I said, it was very reminiscent of the album version. It sounded very like you're listening to the album, but there wasn't the airy, like, atmospheric reverb on her voice like there normally would be on the album. It wasn't hollow and ethereal. I mean, it was still ethereal, but it was lacking that depth of reverb that, I normally would come to expect from her, even on, live performances. Well, especially on live performances. But, regardless, it was still phenomenal. It was still fantastic. Great song. I love this performance so far. All right, so let's see what's next.
You've got it tuned to 90.3 FM KEXP. Chelsea Wolfe live in the studios.
I swear their whole aesthetic as a band is perfect. Weird thing to bring up, I know. But I'm doing what I do. So I've noticed that they all are very fond of downstrokes with their picking. Like it's just full on, just like all downstrokes, except Ben. Now at the beginning, Ben's on the bass. So at the beginning, it was all downstrokes. Even, with each string, it was still dun 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 dun, all downstrokes. But then I noticed in this last section, he was alternate picking. He was up and down, up and down. But then, on both guitars, you've got just straight up downstrokes. And I guess for the sound they're trying to achieve, what they're going for, like it makes sense. It does. It's necessary. It was pointless in me bringing it up. It's interesting to see because, like, you don't see it a whole lot. Like, I'm used to alternate picking. Fuck me.
You've got it tuned to 90.3 FM KEXP here in Seattle, Washington, and worldwide streaming at KEXP.org. You are here live in the KEXP studios with Chelsea Wolfe. So excited to have you here. And she is going to be playing tonight at the Nordic Heritage Museum for the grand opening. So excited. The lineup is amazing. Mammut is playing, Miko Jonsu, and Baby in Vain. And festivities last all weekend long. And great to have you back here in KEXP. I saw you recently at the Showbox last October and was so excited that you came back. And yeah.
Hold on. Okay. So the setting, this KEXP setting, it's a little different than the last time I saw Chelsea on here. It looks like they've upgraded a bit, a whole lot of bit. But so her eyes right here. Let's just take a second. I want you to see it. It's like looking into another dimension.
Yeah, I saw you recently at the Showbox last October and was so excited that you came back.
All right, moving right along.
And yeah, and I'm just excited, like, to hear new songs from your record. His Span is beautiful, and I was just curious. I saw you recorded it in Salem, Massachusetts, and I was wondering what was the reasoning or decision behind that?
Most of it was the studio. Ben and I did some work with Kurt Ballou from Converge last year or the year before with doing a project called Blood Moon, and we spent some time at Kurt's studio and God City in Salem, and I kind of just fell in love with the space, and I already had like a ton of friends there, so I felt like it was kind of the right fit. Also, you know, this was like a very drum-heavy record. It was my first record back reunited with Jess, my good friend from many years ago, and I knew that I wanted the drums to be like well taken care of, and I knew that Kurt could do that, so a lot of it was just kind of like things coming together that really made sense.
Yeah. That's awesome. What about the space kind of inspired you, or like what brought your friendship back for this record?
Oh, well, those are two kind of separate things, so maybe start with the space.
Yeah.
The studio has like 3 levels. There's like this basement dungeon drum room, which I really like, and then there's the middle space, which is like the main studio where you do guitars and everything. It's like this comforting space with all the gear. And then upstairs, there's like the apartment where you actually stay, and that's kind of how I work at home. Like I like to live and work in the same place so that I can just get up at 3 in the morning and walk into my little home studio if I need to, or if I have an idea or I need to work on something. So I kind of liked that about that studio as well. And yeah, I really feel a good connection with Salem just because of the people there. And so I felt like it was the right fit.
Okay, so this just made me fall in love with Salem even more than I already have. Now, the last, I've been to, I'm on the East Coast. You know, I'm like down south on the East Coast, but I've been to Salem, Massachusetts twice when touring, and I absolutely fell in love with it. Like I always tell everyone, if people are like, if you could live anywhere other than where you live now, if you could live in another city or another place, where would you move? And I'm immediately, I'm like Salem, Massachusetts. Unless, of course, it was feasible and financially possible for me to move to like Iceland or Norway or even Sweden. Iceland, Sweden, or Norway. I would rather move to one of those 3 places, but if I had to stay in the U.S., I would want to move to Salem, Massachusetts. You know, there's a lot of great stuff there. Stuff that I won't necessarily get into right now, but if you know me and know the kind of things that I'm into and so forth and such and whatnot, you probably already know. I'm going to leave it at that. But I love Chelsea Wolfe.
With Jess, I recently moved back to Northern California. I guess it was almost a couple years ago at this point, and Jess and I had a band together called Red Host in Sacramento many years ago, and she really taught me a lot about music, about being in a band, and about how to be like a confident front person. And she's kind of like my OG drummer as well. So we didn't speak for a number of years, and we were both kind of doing our own thing. And then when we reunited, it was like really obvious that our musical chemistry was back just as strong as our friendship. So we kind of just started writing songs together naturally, and we were kind of, again, I said this last time I was in the studio too, I always do this, like I start a side project and then I just realized that it should just be this project so that we can actually tour on it and, share the songs with the world, so, yeah.
And what I love about this record is I feel very connected to it as well. Like it kind of brings you to this vulnerable place, and probably in that space it was nice to do it in a home setting and feel vulnerable. And just some of these tracks like 16 Psyche and Spun, I'm just like, oh, like I feel like a lot of people need this connection.
That's cool.
To that, and I really enjoyed that about the record. And I was just wondering, what other ways do you try and connect some of yourself to this music? Do you want to make it for like other people, or do you kind of start with yourself and move out?
With this specific record, a lot of it was more personal, and it was about like kind of reconnecting with my past, with people from my past, with experiences from my past, and just kind of like putting a lot of that into the songs. I don't always put a lot of my personal stories into the songs, and I'm also not always open to like talking about it, but I did definitely put a lot of myself and a lot of the things that I'd gone through, my friends had gone through, my family has gone through into these songs, and it was kind of my way of like finally dealing with a lot of stuff, and also just kind of like you said, trying to relate with a lot of people, because a song like 16 Psyche is about just being in my early 20s and trying to figure out what I wanted in relationships and love, and kind of finding like escapism in all the wrong places, and but there's nothing wrong with that either. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to like be honest about my own experience as a woman, and as a 20-something and an early 30-something and stuff, and put a lot of that into the song, so, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm in my 20s and I needed that song. And when I heard it, I'm like, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And also, I just love all the elements that you just do in your music all the time. I really like that it can't be categorized. I really appreciate that. And I was reading somewhere that you kind of did some field recording in this record as well, where they're like, could you elaborate on that and maybe other techniques that you wanted to delve in with this record?
Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of the fact that my music can't be categorized has to do with the people I collaborate with. One of the main persons being Ben Chisholm. I've worked with him for a long time, and he kind of taught me about doing field recordings. Like he was just kind of taking sound samples, so I started doing that just when we were on the road or whatever. For this record, I think when we were practicing one time, like, I don't know, we were just recording outside sounds, and like a motorcycle drove by, and then like a coyote was howling, and somehow he managed to like twist that and morph it into the beat that was on the breakdown and the culling, that first song that we just played. Also, one of his friends sent him like this sound sample of a tractor scraping the concrete floor at a recycling factory, and that became the song Scrape. So sometimes we hear these rhythms and things, and Ben will kind of like twist them around and make it into like a cool beat that becomes the base of a song.
I love that. Do you have a favorite like sample that you feel very connected to?
That is amazing. I mean, not that that's like a technique or an idea that I'm unfamiliar with. I mean, I've done the same thing, not the exact same samples, obviously, but that concept, I've done that in plenty of my own projects and with bands and whatnot. But just to know that, she's doing that and implementing that on that level, her and Ben are just like killing it, because I had no idea in the culling that, that sample during the, like right before the breakdown, or the sample in the breakdown, I forget which one she said, but that it was a motorcycle and a coyote. Like, what? Fuck. And then the song Scrape. I mean, you say a tractor scraping a concrete floor?
Do?
I think Scrape is actually my favorite from this record, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, and then you're playing tonight at the Nordic Heritage Museum. Was it kind of just like a little separate trip, or just kind of a long tour, or?
Yeah, we actually just got off of about 5 weeks on tour with the band Ministry, opening for them, which was really
That's so
fun.
cool.
And yeah, it was a cool experience. We wanted to like open for someone else for a while and learn some new things, you know?
Yeah.
And then I had gotten asked to do this kind of along the way, so it was just a little addition. And I guess they heard that I had some Norwegian and Swedish heritage, so they figured it fit in with the grand reopening of their museum. So I think that'll be really fun. I've actually been wanting to go there for a long time, so that'll be really cool.
Perfect. Because are you, if I read the website right, are you going to Denmark after this as well?
Yeah, our next show is Roskilde, which is around Copenhagen. So yeah.
Awesome, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then you have a couple more songs for us?
Yeah, we're gonna play 16 Psyche and Spun.
Awesome. You're listening to Chelsea Wolfe live in the studios here at KEXP 90.3 FM and worldwide streaming at KEXP.org.
Okay, so part of me, don't get me wrong, I love this performance. I do. I love it. I love the album. That all these songs. I was listening to it today. I listened to it almost a lot. I was gonna say almost every day, but there are some days that I may not listen to it, or may not listen to it in its entirety. But it stays in my disc changer. I just might listen to something else. But the previous KEXP performance, I kind of almost wish that I had just done that and like offered that to you guys as a gift. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to react to it because I've seen it so many times, but I never get tired of it. This, I haven't seen it, but it didn't like wow me as hard as the first performance did. I mean, it's still great, but then again, also, it's like I've seen her live. I've seen, I saw her do these songs on tour last year, and it was great. I mean, the performance I saw was just fucking mind-boggling. And the way she closed the set out was just unhuman. But I mean, this is really good. Don't get me wrong. This is really good. But I don't know. I think I'm really partial to the particular songs that were on the first KEXP performance. I don't know, and I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
You're listening to Chelsea Wolfe live here in the KEXP studios on 90.3 FM. And thank you so much, Chelsea, for coming. That was amazing.
Thanks for having us. It was fun.
I had lots of fun. Thank you so much. And you can catch Chelsea Wolfe tonight. She's playing a sold-out show at the grand opening of the Nordic Heritage Museum tonight, along with Mammut, Mickey Jonesu, and Baby in Vain. And the festivities for the grand opening run all weekend long. And thank you again for coming in. And you've got it tuned to where the music matters on KEXP 90.3 FM and worldwide at KEXP.org. My name is Abby, and I have a lot more music coming your way.
All right, so she is so chill. Like, she's just chill. And, yeah.